Hello, welcome to Trans Sisters TV. I'm Angel Qinan. I'm a registered nurse and an actress. And with my co-host and co-channel, Ali.
Hi everyone, welcome to Transgender TV. Yes, community gathering every Sunday where we discuss an important topic that affects all of us as a community. And of course, today's topic is transgender in the workplace. But before that, let's actually check in about each other. So Angel, how was your week?
My week was good. We're a little bit back to normal here-ish. So I went back to the mall. I got jeans, and I've accepted the fact that I am like 2 sizes bigger than what I was 5 years ago, like with my tight jeans. So it's good because at least I was able to go to the mall and fit the clothes because it's hard to buy online. So that's why I had to go to the mall to fit the jeans. What about you? What's new with you?
Yes, I actually had a very busy week again. I actually traveled. Oh, by the way, hello Harold and hello Kuya Ram. How are you? Happy Pride. So basically, what I actually did was I traveled for work this week. We actually went to a surf site in Florida. Um, in case just for everyone to know, I mean, Surfside is actually something devastating that really happened. A condominium actually collapsed, and we had to go there to basically cover the news and do the coverage for what happened. And that was really sad. I mean, at 1:30 a.m., on Thursday, suddenly the building just collapsed. Who would have thought that the night before that was the last time that they would be watching TV, perhaps talking to their loved ones? It made me realize that life is too short, that what is guaranteed is what we have now, and tomorrow is never guaranteed. So for me, the lesson there is if there are things that you want to do now, do it now. If there's an opportunity for you to call your loved ones now, how important they are to you and how much you care about them, do it now because you know what? We don't know what might happen tomorrow. And basically, that's what happened to me this week. And of course, and to get our guests, please let us know what happened to your week as well. Hi, Michael. How are you? And hi, Ate Sonia, the only one. Yes. Ate Sonia, are you already there? Can you speak now? Because we're checking in about how your week has been.
Yes, mabuhay. Welcome to the Philippines. Sonia, the only one. Sonia Agbayani, stylist and events planner. And the week was, what a very exciting week. We did I sent you the video of the June Bride fashion show, and your friend VJ and designer VJ Floresca was one of the designers.
Presenters.
Nah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ate Sonia.
Yes. That's
And
all.
by the way, I love your earrings. And of course,
Thank you.
And of course, our other Hollywood actress and model, Miss Lee Faelnar from Los Angeles. So Lee, we're checking in. So how's your week going?
I'm not melted yet. Soon I probably will melt, but it's going okay. So I heard what happened, Ali, with your thing? Was it close to where you were? Is it
No,
somewhere
we
in
had to
Washington?
fly to Florida.
To Florida.
Because of what happened. Remember what happened to the condominium building that collapsed? So we had to go there and cover it. And that made me realize, certain things about life. It's just so sad. So you know what? We're praying for all the families who have left behind by the people who have died. And you know what? Hopefully that, we'll be able to find the bodies as well of everyone right there.
Do you know how many people were affected by the collapse of the building?
Those who are affected are at least 100 something.
Oh, wow.
But anyways, all over the news anyway. Yeah. So for all of you to know, just for you to have the facts, you can actually search the news outlets.
Watch right Nora there. O'Donnell. CBS.
Yes. Anyway, let's not. So today on Transgender TV, our topic is transgender in the workplace. So, first, let's actually talk about, I'll tell you first the meaning of work, right? According to Oxford Languages, which Lee will, I'm sure, disagree with. Yes. So, according to Oxford Languages, work means activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. So, who would like to comment on this first? Angel or to our... Oh, by the way, hi, Jared.
Hi, Jared. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. It's about work, so yes.
I actually agree as well with the meaning. It definitely says mental and physical as well as to achieve a purpose. That's the reason why we go to our workplace, is because you know what, we all of us are needed, right? Regardless of what department you're in. Like me, I'm a makeup artist. I go there, I need to do makeup. Of course, mentally, I need to be clear. I need to be in good physical standing in order for me to do my job. And my purpose are of making them look and feel good about themselves. Yes.
Yeah.
And now
I want to
Celine-
add though that usually for work purposes, I equate it to kind of like having an income or like something that will support yourself. Although obviously there's voluntary work and there's pro bono and stuff, but I kind of equate that to a survival.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to those people who are doing like volunteer work and things like that, oh my gosh, you are our heroes. Thank you. Okay, Miss Lee and Miss Sonia.
It's a 4-letter word. That's what I hear all the time. But work is a 4-letter word.
Yes. And isn't it funny, because here in the US, I feel like since moving here, all we do is work. I feel like there's not one day here that I feel like I can like rest. I mean, like even on my days off, I feel like I still have to work. I mean, I think it's just the culture of this country. But don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. Because of course, if we don't work, then how can we actually have that, salary or money to basically pay for our bills and of course support our families and at the same time buy the things that we want. And now, of course, to Ate Sonia, how about you, Ate Sonia? What do you feel about the meaning of work according to Oxford Languages?
Work, aside from for a lot of word, it is the moment you pass your teens, your parents will say, now it's time for you to work. So I agree. Work. Work is work.
Yeah, I think especially
you're
like
relating to
What did they
actually
say?
like
What did
being
they say?
older or
Work
mature.
it, work it, work it, work it, girl, work it, girl.
Do the twirl. Do your thing.
yes.
Way.
So speaking of this song, my first question is actually related to this. First and foremost, this is to everybody, as well as of course everyone in our live stream. Are you out as a transgender in your workplace? Since the topic for today is transgender in the workplace.
I am very out at work. They all know. I don't think it started that way. Like with the interview, I didn't bring it up because it didn't come out on the conversation. The way I see myself coming out to people is if it comes up on the conversation, then I'll bring it up or confirm it. But if it kind of doesn't roll out, then I don't need to put attention to it. So now I'm out to everyone, but I've worked there since October. I was just like, I was just speaking with one coworker recently, like 2 weeks ago, and she said, "Oh, I love your voice" on the phone, and I said, "Yeah, because I'm transgender," and she's like, "No way," like after like how many months of me working there, she still doesn't know, and I told her I feel like everybody knows, so I'm sorry if you didn't know, but it's not my intention to hide it. It's just never come up on the conversation with her.
There you go. See? Even on the phone, perhaps you were not clockable. Yes. So, I mean, how about to you, Miss Sonia, Miss Lee? Are you out as a transgender in your workplace?
Yes. I've been very out there. I've been so out there. So I'm trying to do I have any work that I haven't been out yet? I'll get to that story when it happens. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm just so out there.
There we go. Yes. How about you, Miss Lee Faelnar?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. I literally know. Well, no,
Yeah.
because like I work in production. I don't say like, "Hey, hello, here's a trans woman working here. Hi." I don't draw attention to me as being trans. I just draw attention to me as being gorgeous, capable, and very, very, very warm and like a good worker. So basically, it depends on the situation. If it's an acting gig that you have to be trans, then of course, this is like I'm gonna flaunt what it's necessary for me to be able to do that job as an actor well. But if it's not necessary really to disclose, why? It's like it's also my private life that it's not like it's not the end all and be all of me being a good employee. And sometimes like when people ask, I won't hide it. It's not necessarily me hiding it. It's more just like, I'm there and I'm able to blend in. And if they ask me and then I'll tell them, then they can say like, you know what, we're really around, and we're just really normal people. So it really doesn't matter if like they know or not, because like
I
I
love
think it's
it.
a little. I think it's a little bit different with Lee too, because you're kind of per project basis too. So sometimes the people you work with are new for this current project. So it's like, why would you like say hi, hello, I'm Lee, I'm trans to everyone, kind of, So
yeah, I mean,
think
like
that
people
I think
follow
that
me on
kinda,
Instagram. So if
yeah.
they follow me on Instagram, then they'll definitely know.
Yeah, and to answer that question for me, by the way, thank you, Lee. To each his own, to each her own. Yes. For me, basically, I think I'm a combination of both. I mean, for my present job right now, as a makeup artist for the media news, when I started for the network that I'm working for, I wasn't really like out. I was just there because I just wanted to, just do my job. And it's, not that I'm not proud of me being a transgender woman, but I just felt like it was just like what Lee said. There's like a time and place to say those things. But I remember when I actually was offered the position to be the makeup artist for when the person that I work for took into this role. The first question that she asked was, would you consider moving with me to Washington? And I said, well, the answer is already a yes. But before I give you my 100% yes, there's something that I need to tell you. I mean, I'm not sure if you've heard it from other people. By the way, this was like me working for her for 2 years already. And then as her part-time makeup artist, then they got promoted or full-time makeup artist. And then, or at least offered as a full-time makeup artist. I said, I just want to say something to you that's very important to me, that I want it to come from me and not just if you heard it from other people. I'm a transgender woman. And she said, all I see is a beautiful woman inside and out, and that's all that matters. And then she hugged me, and then I cried and I cried. And I feel very thankful to actually have a boss who's very loving, and who celebrates diversity very much, who celebrates inclusivity, and and that's the reason why I'm very loyal to her. We want to work with people who also would like to support us. And when people support us, then we can definitely fulfill our fullest potential, because it's not like as if we're hiding anything anymore. So there you go. Yeah.
That's a
So
nice
now,
story to share. Thank you.
huh?
That's a nice story to share.
It is. And you know what? And I'm very thankful for forever. It makes me emotional all the time talking about that. But I think like certain stories like this, it needs to be told, because you know what? There will always be people who believe in you. And sometimes, you know what? Your family, your relatives sometimes may not believe in you, but it's other people that will God bring in your life who will basically believe in you, just like we believe in everybody. So now the second question that I have is, what triumphs have you encountered as an out trans person in your company? As for me, perhaps like one of the triumphs that I've encountered as an out transgender person, especially when I outed myself, because we actually have an LGBTQ or a diversity department within the company. They've actually asked me for the third time, like since I outed myself like 2 years ago. Like last year, they asked me to be one of the panel speakers for their LGBTQ month talk. And then during the Transgender Day of Visibility, they also asked me, and then they also asked me again this month for me to share my story again. So for them to celebrate us, the LGBTQ plus community, that's great, and that's actually one of the triumphs that I think I've encountered working for the company that I work for. So Angel,
I
Ate
kind
Sonia,
of have a similar story to share. So basically at my previous job as well, I ended up like doing panels for awareness for LGBTQ, especially because nurses and healthcare providers, it's important for us to kind of know how to deal with transgender patients. So at least I can say it from my perspective. I can't speak for everyone, of course, but I think that helped them have like maybe a safe space to start a conversation with, or a safe person that they can ask about on how to deal with certain situations that they've encountered from before. So I think that's a big win for me and the workplace that I work for.
Oh, I love that, Angel. And miss you. And Miss Lee and Miss Adi Sonia.
I miss you too. Um, um, so anyways, like it depends. Again, like what Angel said, it's per project. I'm not. I feel like when I was working for a production that involved a lot of trans people, like I was able to at least help with like remembering people about pronouns and whatnot, and also making sure that people weren't misgendering people and trying to make sure that they're more inclusive with their language. So I feel like that's like one positive. And also like we've done a bunch of acting stuff, Angel, that we were highlighted as trans folk. I've done a Facebook commercial, so has Angel. I've been part of Uber Pride as one of the models for Uber, like as one of LGBT employee for Uber. So like there's just
Model management and strut.
yeah. So like there's just numerous jobs that we've done so that we can just like keep the community forward. And if I wasn't doing volunteer work in the LGBT center, then I wouldn't have created my daughter here or met my daughter.
Aw, thank you. We if you guys don't know, we met Lee. I met Lee, or Lee met me. I guess we met each other on Trans Pride because we were volunteering, and that's one of the work that's free. So we were volunteering for Trans Pride. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily free because we get a little bit from, like, we feel better kind of volunteering for the community. So the payoff is not monetary.
Mm-hmm.
Ate Sonia?
Awesome stars, ladies. I love you and keep on shining. So in my 53 years of existence, so I have worked a lot in different fields. In entertainment, I have proved a lot also as being an entertainer in Japan. And when I transferred into the event scene, well, especially in the corporate world where I was part of the production, so I was just really, my first big production that I really was so proud of was the election of 2000, I think 2008. I was head of one of the running people in Makati for congressman, and eventually, so my boss said, I'm replacing the unit head, and Sonia head that unit for 40 days for election, and you will be manning 400 people. And I said, me? Yes. So you go be going around the whole Makati area, District 2. And District 2 is not the Makati, it is the Makati of the other side. So, I mean, it was the challenge. I approved, and they never questioned who I was. They questioned that I was such a bitch in heading the production because because people there were so harsh. So they said, this is, I was in the rival side. So when I was like, hi sir, we will be putting a stage here. So no, this is Binay land. So you cannot put your, from there on there is a problem. And so I really solved everything. Then I said, I really deal with those people of all kinds of sorts. So 400 people, luckily 40 days were done, the election was done. And then I said, hey, I have power to do this. So my boss said, there'll be more corporate events for you to head. And that's where I started for events. Then eventually I clicked to fashion. So yeah, achievement. Boom.
Wow,
Ate
Ate
Sonia. I'm so proud of my sisters.
Yes, so proud of you, Ate Sonia. You know what? You basically definitely show strength, courage, and grace. in spite of like stressful times. And thank you for paving the way for us, your younger sisters, and being a good role model of how it is to be a strong and beautiful transgender woman in the workplace. So now my next question would be, what challenges have, oh, by the way, to everyone who has been enjoying our live stream, of course, our talk today, please support our channel by giving us a thumbs up, and also please make a comment. Yes, that would actually help our channel. And of course, please answer the question today about transgender in the workplace. And later we will going to be announce the winner of last week's draw. Okay, so now the next question would be, what challenges have you encountered as an out transgender person in your workplace? Well, for me, one of like the challenges that I've encountered was because I transitioned from presenting myself then as male and then to female. There was definitely like a lot of like eyebrows and like definitely like a lot of questions. And by the way, can anyone answer the question? Because they actually have sirens. So if anyone wants to answer that question, what challenges have you encountered as an out trans person in your workplace?
So I mean, for me, the one of the challenges obviously is transitioning at work. I work in nursing, so the focus should be on the patients, not on the staff, because like really we're there to help them. So transitioning is a big thing. So obviously if I start looking from my previous look to the new one, then it will draw attention. So I had to request like 2 weeks off before coming back, because I didn't want to just like kind of come back and then now the focus is on me and not patients focusing on themselves. And then later on, when I would meet a patient that was my patient prior, they would be like, oh, there was a nurse here before, and his name is Angel. so I would just like gracefully kind of like think quickly and say, oh, I'm the same nurse and I just look differently, but I'm still the same nurse and I care for you the same. So so those are like kind of instances I think that is a little bit of a challenge at work.
I love that line though. You know what? I'm still the same nurse and I just present myself differently, but I care for you the same. Yes. Thank you for that, Angel. Well, as for me to go back to the question, I mean, so again, I presented myself then as male, and then of course when I transitioned as a transgender woman. So I remember then when I asked one of my bosses, that was like third week of March, and I said come April 1st I will present myself as a woman. This was way back, I believe, in 2014, 2013. And then my direct boss then for the brand that I worked for was not supportive of me, but the one below him, who was the counter manager, was supportive of me. So all I'm saying here is the challenge there was my direct boss was not supportive of me. So you need to find a person who can be an ally or listen to you or be supportive of you, because those are the people who will carry you through in order for you to go to the next step. Because I think if not because of her, I would not have had the courage to basically prepare myself to talk to the VP of the company and things like that, because I was like the first person to transition in the company that I worked for then. And so that was the challenge for me. There may be like some people who don't believe in you, in your cause, in who you are, but I also believe that there are people who believe in you, and those are the people that we need to find who can ally for us. Okay, now Miss Lee and Adi Sonia.
My God, like I guess the biggest challenge for me is like having cis heterosexual people have to come out to me as cis and heterosexual, because nobody does. What the heck? What's up with that? Anyways, like that aside, sometimes like especially when I was working at Transparent, like people like sometimes like there's topics of conversations, and because you're sometimes just the only trans person there, you become tokenized, and then they feel like every answer to each question that has to do with transness. And that's not the case, because like all of our lives are different. We have different paths in our gender's spectrum, so like we can't basically answer everything, or we won't have to know, like we don't know everything per se. So sometimes it's just hard to answer questions like that, or sometimes advocate for other marginalized communities, because like when you hear it, you know what they're going through as well, and you feel like you need to speak up or something. So there's just a lot of intersectionalities involved with being trans. And I remember Alexandra Billings, when we were working in Transparent, she had to answer a question that somebody posed, or like they were discussing something about athletes. And you know, like the onus comes to sometimes trans folks trying to explain that. And it's just like, why do we always have to be the cheerleaders? You know, it kind of can be burdensome because you're having lunch and you have to answer questions, and it feels like there's an extra layer. So I wish cis het people come out to me. Come on, come out to me. Y'all can.
There you go. Exactly. Yes, you can also come out, not just us. Yes. Oh, now, how about you, Sonia?
Oh, challenges. Every day is a challenge in work, in life, and especially in the workplace. The one that I was really really so very memorable to me was now I was heading a one corporate event, and my boss said, make sure that I'm sure they will be very surprised who will be heading this unit. So it's one of the leading corporate heads in here in Makati. So I will be doing the meeting and the presentation. And so before we were waiting in the waiting area, and there was a couple of guys here. Oh, they were still like, oh, they were just like not teasing me. They was like, oh, look at her. It's like, parang I was like an awesome being in them. So well. To cut the short. So when it was meeting time, then the head of the corporate world said, "Oh, here's your boss for this event. May I present Sonia Biani?" And then when I walked in, I saw the four guys there and said, "Good morning, guys," and said, "You listen to her and how are you?" And then eventually they know, oh. Hi, ma'am. Yes, hi, ma'am. You can call me madam. Those instances.
I think what you're trying to say is also that so sometimes just because you're the trans person at work, they kind of sensationalize just for your being. In this case, fortunately, you're the boss. So even though they try to discriminate,
and I gave them a hard time for 4 days.
Oh my god!
Okay.
I actually want to add another challenge that I got, because I think this is very important. Because my previous job was like it's kind of religion based, and so with HR, I feel like I was given a hard time in terms of like changing my documents when I transitioned, because I needed to change my documents from male to female because I wanted my ID to match my my benefits, my health insurance, and everything. So when I tried to have it changed to female when I initially transitioned, they were asking for a bunch of documents that I didn't have to go through. Specifically, it's court documents, but I like laws have changed already by the time that I transitioned, that I didn't have to go to court to change anything in terms of my documentations, because it's allowed, like let's say on the DMV for my driver's license, as long as I have certification from my doctor that I have transitioned to a woman. And let's say the passport, you could change it into a female, and it you don't have to go through court to kind of like prove anything, but I didn't have to change my name, so that's kind of like, luckily I didn't have to go to court for that. So at the beginning, they were giving me a hard time in HR in having a change of you can't hear me, Lee?
No,
you just want to add something?
Finish after what you're saying.
Okay, so so I feel like they were giving me a hard time. They're looking for that court documentation, and I don't need to go to court because all my documents are female. If I'm a new employee here, then they would have just taken it as is and like not make me go through these hoops. So I think luckily, as what Ali said, sometimes it's good to have allies at work, because I did start kind of going through the chain, like complaining it with my director, and obviously it's a good thing that my director was an ally for me, so I didn't have to worry about it anymore. I don't know if they updated their policy with anything but they didn't even show me any policy at that time about what they're talking about the court documents. So sometimes you kind of have to advocate for yourself. It's a good thing that I'm valued there, and I was willing to like leave the job already if they're not gonna accommodate me, which sucks, because obviously work is very important. But I just want to share that because I think that's an important aspect on how you can be an ally for us if you work in HR or if you're a boss of somebody who's trans, is to be an ally for the transgender person. Please, sorry.
Yeah, no, because like when you said you didn't have to go to court, I think when you go through naturalization, that's actually going through a court process. So that's when you're able to change your passport into the gender that you identify as, or the gender that you are.
Well, I transitioned after being a citizen, so I wasn't able to change it at court or at naturalization.
Oh, so you transitioned after you became a citizen?
Yeah.
So how did you change your passport?
Read. That's the knowledge is power. So you should read the requirements of the U.S. passport, which is again a certification from the doctor that you have transitioned to female, and so you can have a female passport. That's how I at least had mine. Yeah.
Like that's like something that I didn't have to experience. I had to go to court with one of my friends so that they can change their name. I think like that's like another thing, like you have to really go to court to change your name. But since like you probably didn't have to change your name, your gender marker is the only thing that had to change, that you didn't have to go to court.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Miss Lee, did you want to answer that question?
What was the question?
They all answered it actually. I just
they did
and repeated my answer, but the challenges in the work.
The challenges. Yeah. So now I'm sorry about that. So now actually, I just want to mention this as well because I think it's very important. I remember before I transitioned at work, I actually asked Angel then, because she transitioned a year before I did, about how do I ask permission from my boss on how I should transition as a transgender woman. And I think this has been very powerful. Angel told me, you never ask permission from anyone for you to be who you are. You just let them know. And I think the power of that is, if you ask someone for permission, then you're giving them the power. You have the power at the end of the day. Because you know what? You are just being who you are. So you just let them know. You never ask permission from anyone. You just live your truth. You live your most authentic self, whatever that may be. You know what? At the end of the day, so be it. So for me, that has been like the most important lesson when I transitioned outward. You know, it's also the power of what you say, the power of your question, and the power of your message. Okay, Angel?
Yeah, I agree with that. The only thing with that is it depends also on the state or the location on where you live, if you're still discriminated or if you can still lose the job just for being who you are. I knew that you were in New York City and, you know, like that you're protected by law. And in California, I was too. But at Sonia, for example, I don't know how it is there in the Philippines right now. I mean, I've heard stories about Jollibee before, you know, like this and that. And I know other states kind of had those problems with laws too. So I don't know if anything has changed with that, but yeah.
And then
thank you for that follow through, Angel. Exactly. We always need to know the laws. Yes, depending on the state or the geography or the country or city or community you're in. Okay, Ms. Lee?
And then it doesn't even sometimes matter like what the laws are, because like sometimes like just because you're different, you're looked into a different type of lens. So you're more under a microscope. So they can actually lawfully, lawfully let you go in case like you do something that's just really minute. To them, they can make it into a big thing. So sometimes like even if the law is with you in certain states, if you're just like in a company that just isn't really healthy, sometimes trans people just to have to work like double extra hard and not like get into trouble because like you're viewed in a microscope, which makes it sometimes really, really difficult for trans people to retain jobs even though they're able to get it.
I actually just want to read like from transequality.org that they say that more than 1 in 4 transgender people have lost a job due to bias, and more than 3/4, so 75%, have experienced some sort of workplace discrimination, refusal to hire, privacy violations, harassment, and even physical and sexual violence on the job are common occurrences and are experienced at even higher rates by transgender people of color. Many people report changing jobs to avoid discrimination or the risk of discrimination. And then extreme levels of unemployment and poverty lead 1 in 8 to become involved in underground economies such as sex and drug work in order to survive. Yeah, that's transequality.org.
Thank you for that, Angel. Thank you for the facts. Okay, by the way, to everyone again, if you're enjoying our conversation, please support our channel Transers TV by giving us a thumbs up, okay? And also please make a comment as well to support the transgender community as well. So now, Ate Sonia, how about you? Did you
Do you want to add anything about challenges?
Did you want to add anything
about challenges? Yeah, I can add this. Of course, they will always, have the whys and the whys of the and they always when they see transgender people, they always question, aside from they're transgender, and aside, are they capable? But as far as I'm here in the Philippines, the BPO center, the call center agent, officers are they're very very not very supportive of the transgender community, and some are leading their units of course, and for the fashion industry challenges, of course, we just have to be very very careful, and and this it's the Philippines, so it's a very challenging country to be in right now. So we just have to be very careful, especially our community. But there are support group here and allies that will really help you to, just see how you will find your destiny in the corporate and the workplace scene, and how will you manage it. So
Thank you, Ate Sonia. Yes. Hopefully, it's going to progress more back home in the Philippines. So my next question would be, what is your advice, or to someone who would like to transition in the workplace, while we have time to talk about that? What can you advise to that person? If I can actually give an advice to that person who would like to transition in their workplace or come out to their workplace, I would actually say that definitely, first, do your research as well. Just like what Angel said, perhaps in the city or state that you're in, just so at least your rights, you have a backup plan. And then at that time, I remember I also was, I went to this healthcare institution that basically help the transgender women, in terms of, their hormone therapy, as well as with everything that's regarding about trans, transitional work, things like that. They basically kind of in a way guided you about certain things. They even have lawyers, that if something happens to you, they can recommend you to the right lawyers, who can actually help you through with your case. And at the same time, for my personal homework, I also wrote down all my achievements from the companies, all my awards and things like that. And then at the same time, look for an ally again, who could be possibly support you in your transition. Because you know what, it's hard. It's hard, especially I think for the transgender community to transition, because it's almost like this big leap of faith, because at least back in my time then, it's not as if people are so common into seeing someone transitioning in the workplace. I remember after I transitioned, there were 2 other male to female, or I'm just saying that just so that everyone can understand, or 2 transgender women who also have transitioned after me, because I have transitioned fully. So you don't know the impact of your story. You may be the guinea pig. I'm just saying the word guinea pig. You may be the trailblazer, but sometimes the first person who does it the person who trailblazes it sometimes experiences the worst or the most challenging times. But just know that once you do that, you're actually opening the road bigger for the next generation to come. So just so you know that your sacrifice will eventually have a bigger sunshine at the end of a dark tunnel. Thank you. So who wants to go next?
So just like to kind of update us with terms, like I know like a lot of us probably were used to the terms F2M and M2F. I now think like the more inclusive term is to say AMAB and AFAB, assigned female at birth, assigned male at birth. So AMAB and AFAB is the new term for saying M2F, F2M. So it's a little bit more inclusive and it's correct. So basically, what am I gonna say? You know what? Sometimes like you just really need to find your LGBT center, and that's like the best thing for you to do because you're gonna meet other people who go through similar experiences. You can actually have a community. That's why I think that the reason why Pride is important to a lot of people is because it builds community between the LGBTQ people. Because at the moment, like it's scary, like in other places, sometimes even dangerous to come out and transition. So having that community to support you and back you up, give you their experiences, help you with what they did so that they can transition well. And the workplace, that I think like that's like the best way. I used to facilitate groups before, and as a facilitator, I didn't just facilitate. I also was a student. You know, I wasn't just facilitating because I was learning from the lives of these people that I was facilitating to. So it's just really nice to have that community so that you can learn from them and you can also help support them. And know that you're not going through that by yourself.
And this is why we have Miss Leaf El Norte, valedictorian, because we need everything to be updated. Thank you, Lee. I learned something new. AFAB and and what's the other one? And AMAB, yes. Okay, Miss Angel and Miss Sonia.
First of all, if you're thinking about transitioning at work and if you're thinking about coming out at work, congratulations for knowing who you are. And it's tough. It will be tough. So aside from what Lee and Ali said about like having the allies, the support group, kind of like having kind of a lot of things in order, knowing the laws or this and that, I think it's important to kind of be understanding of other people as well. I think for a lot of your coworkers, it might be something new to them as well. So maybe armor yourself with how to respond to questions. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to answer all of their questions or you have to be the know-it-all for whatever questions that they have, or they can invade your privacy in terms of, you know, personal stuff for you, but maybe have prepare yourself on how to answer those invasive questions. And I think because it's tough, I think it's good to think about it as a reality of, unfortunately, I mean, first of all, we're not transitioning because we want to get attention from everybody. It's because we just want to live. But it's natural, like it will attract attention and it will attract questions, it will attract reactions from everybody. So I think just be prepared that that's going to happen, and hopefully find a way to kind of also still be on a good relationship with the coworkers, if that makes sense to everyone. Yeah,
that actually makes sense, Angel. Before we go to Sonia, and I also would just want to add something to that, Angel. I actually love this. I don't know who I heard this from before, but when we transition, it's not just us transitioning in the workplace. They also transition with our transition. So if we will be an example of compassion and understanding and of patience, which are hard, easier to say than done, it still starts from within us. So if we always do everything with love and with purity in our hearts that, you know what, this is so important to us. Sometimes we also need to do baby steps in order to walk them through our adolescent stage, through the times when we will eventually bloom to our most fullest beautiful potential. Yes, on that note, I pass the question to Miss Sonia, the only one.
Transitioning, yes. So I've witnessed a lot of transitioning, especially in my entertainer years in Japan, because as you said, you have to have an ally. So we are the moment, if you are a first timer and you are not yet that there, you're in the part of transitioning. Well, I have my, as I said, my godchildrens, my, I when they arrive, they were just like, oh, okay, so have you ever been, have you know about this work that you're going through, this entertainment scene? And all they said that, mommy, I'm just new here, and I haven't been in that stage of having the hormones and everything. You'll see that, oh, very raw. Oh, raw. This is so raw. So, okay, let's see. So all I have to say is said that you just have to be physically, mentally ready of what you are going to this world. So of course, we may not be professional also, although we were like this raw person, this newbie would see, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, oh my gosh, she's so like a lady. It said, well, you just have to take your hormones, you just have to take your. But as I've said, it really takes guts that you are pushing this person. Oh, you take the hormones, you take the pills, you take that. So I think that aside from this, taking them those ways of the transitioning thing, I've always said to them that it will be emotionally, physically challenging to you. So be sensitive to who you work with, and we will be sensitive also of what you're feeling. Just don't make things were difficult for you, but we are here to support you in every little way. And as months pass, you see this very raw person blossoming into a, oh, and all she can say is, mommy, I'm now a girl. Ah, winner. And you see the difference in 4 months as well. So and up to now, we're still in contact with this godchildren of mine, and they're really transitioned to very, very, very good and healthy and very lively persons.
I think
Oh,
Lee has something to add, or
yes.
Yeah, I actually, let me add, if it's possible, you might want to also suggest to HR if they can connect with the LGBTQ organization so that they can have sensitivity training to the employees. So the burden doesn't have to be you explaining stuff all the time. I know some of our siblings who want to transition aren't super, like they're already going through a lot of mental changes, and it's already going to be hard. So just having to being bombarded by other people with questions and stuff, or trying to open up and coming out to other people may be hard. So like maybe having professionals do sensitivity training so that they can mitigate whatever type of questions that don't feel correct at that time for you to answer to burden. Like I think that's also a good idea. Just at least ask. They might not do it, but at least just ask and let them know that that's an option.
like for here in the United States, the one of the organizations that I've thought about like reaching out to if the problem persists at work at that time would be like human rights campaign, till deaf, like TLDEF, so there's WPATH. So there's a few organizations here in the United States that you can reach out to who can help you out in terms of supporting you in your transition at work. In the Philippines, I guess it would be like maybe organizations like TRAP. Yeah. I don't know much, but yeah.
Perhaps, Angel, we can add that in the description box, the ones that you've mentioned after. Yeah, just so that, just for resource purposes. Okay, so love this conversation. Again, if everyone is enjoying, please give it a thumbs up as well. Please support our channel. Yes. And also now the next question is, do companies, is it important for companies to celebrate Pride Month and months that also support or where we also basically celebrate or other rainbow events, such as like transgender day visibility, things like that? Is it important for companies to celebrate months like this? What
I think
would
it's
you?
very important. I think it's very important, especially for the employees or prospective employees of the LGBTQ community who wants to join that company. I think, especially if they're not as vocal or they're not as visible in the company, I think if the company is vocal about their support for the LGBTQ community, then I think that speaks a lot for that employee as well. I think that's very important.
For me, it's also very important because it's almost like, you know, like every month there's like something, right? Like there's Earth Day, there's Labor Day, there's like every whatever day. But you know what? Like Pride Month is basically like the birthday of the LGBTQ plus community, you know? So it's definitely something, it's definitely the time for us to celebrate, you know what, how far we've come, where we came from, the reason why we're here, and at the same time, the things that we need to continue to fight for. And in that way, we also basically get to highlight the certain individuals who have actually done something great for the community and celebrate the stories, just so that we can continue to grow and get to know people, because every year we grow, you know? So your story today might be a different story tomorrow. And that's the reason why we always need to celebrate Pride Month and rainbow events on certain months as well. Miss Lee and Miss Sonia.
Yes, in the Philippines. Yes, well, I hope that all the corporate world, some corporate world will be very open in celebrating in the Pride Month, and if they can celebrate somebody else, a hero, the religion festivities, why not? And if you're in an industry in the fashion, in the TV, and anywhere in the BPO centers, of course, I know I'm sure that very vocal and open about the Pride Month festivities. And in other, well, there are still conservative corporate world. There is a conservative corporate world here, so it may not be that vocal, but you can say. But of course, they will say, "Oh, you celebrate and we acknowledge."
Yeah, exactly. And we've actually seen that as well, that there have been like several, you know, like gay pride celebrations back in the Philippines. The good thing is, you know what, the longer that we just do it, you know, it's just great to see like more. There's also power in numbers. So thank you for that, Ate Sonia. Miss Lee, how about you?
Um, I don't know what, like, I love that companies, you know, march or like celebrate Pride during Pride Month, but I think the more important part really is just have a culture that is just more understanding, and just like where it's harder to commit like atrocities to like marginalized communities. I feel like if it's just really more enforced all throughout the company, it'll become a safer place, because you can like I like sometimes I feel like companies like celebrate their employees during Pride Month as a tokenization that, hey, we're woke, buy products from us, and it becomes a commercial thing. I hope it gets past that. I hope like it gets more to a point where don't harm these type of people, their marginalized communities, try to uplift their voices and whatnot. I'm not gonna like say like it's not important, because through that I've been highlighted because I am of that community during Pride Month, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But hopefully, it just doesn't end during Pride Month. I hope it carries out throughout the year, because we are human 24/7, 365.
So don't just say it, do it in actions.
Yes, there you go. Just exactly. Just do it. Yes. Okay. Miss Lena said awareness is visibility is important. On that note, my very important question is being out in the workplace contribute to your overall performance as your title in the workplace as being trans? So for me, being out definitely in the workplace contributes to my overall performance, because at the end of the day, I'm not hiding anything anymore. I think in this way as well, you basically get to be you know what, the representation for a community that not a lot of people know of, or if they don't know anyone in particular who's like trans. Especially being trans here in the US, I've actually still noticed that a lot of my coworkers actually don't know or don't really have a personal relationship with a trans person, whether that be a friend, a neighbor, or someone within the community. So me being out, you know, me having this good relationship as a coworker to them definitely affects not just my performance, but at the same time, how people view the transgender community as they see you. Because when they see you as a person, not just because of being this person being tokenized, but you being comfortable in your own skin, just doing your job, and you and them seeing you every day, whether they like it or not, they will see who you are, your work ethic, you know what, who you are as a person, your patience, your loyalty. So definitely, I can say that being out in the workplace has definitely have helped me in my overall performance, both mentally, physically, and knowing at the end of the day that me being proud of transgender woman and carrying the flag of our community, you know what, makes me proud, and that I've done what I need to do in order for them to know that we trans people are here and that we exist. And even if we are small in numbers, and even if you have like the smallest population, that we can still shine and that we can still offer something great. Angelie and Sonia.
I think being out in the workplace helps, you know, because it's part of me. It's not all of me. It's definitely work is work. I think in the end, we shouldn't be hired or we shouldn't be acknowledged at work just because we're trans or just because we're not or whatever, you know. So I think it helps though, because I think it's like it's part of my charm, you know, being trans. It's part of my charm, and you kind of just own who you are. And the more confident you are, the more open you are also with let's say your coworkers. I think the easier the relationships will be, the easier the workflow will be, if they're supportive of you, of course. You know, so I think being out does help me in terms of my relationship with my coworkers and just in my charm at work. So yeah.
Thank you, Miss Charmed Angel. Yes, by the way, we also have an episode here that we did about, you know, what the Charmed House. So Angel, if you could actually link that as well, add in the description box. Yeah, because I think that's super cute. That was like way back, like 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, now Miss Lee and Miss Sonia.
ADD much.
What?
ADD much.
Oh, let me just say, being out doesn't help me because I am who I am, and no matter where I am, I'm gonna be like, for the most part. And also, I guess it also speaks to what privilege you have where you live, because it's not the same across the board, 100%. That's why like there's privilege when you're like being able to be out and proud at work. There's like a huge privilege to that, and I do see that, and I'm like when I have it, I embrace it because it's such a privilege to be able to be out and proud and just like be 100% like a lot of people know that it is that you're trans at work. But again, I work in different, my work is sporadic. And so basically, I don't think it does help me with my job, because I don't know if being trans helps. I guess it makes me more compassionate towards like more other communities, like I said. And it also makes me more vocal when I feel like somebody at work's being spoken to illy. And it also makes me more understanding because I know what I've gone through and I know the stuff that I've been, so that it also makes me more compassionate to other people. I think but I think most humans should already be that way.
Yes, Miss Lee. See, to everybody, we should always just have compassion. Yes. And I can say that Lee is like that. She may be tough, but she has like the most compassionate and giving heart as well. And before we go to Ate Sonia, let's just read some comments. Michael said, so I guess I am a mob as I'm male at birth. I identify as part male and part female. Just so you know, Michael, we celebrate you. And Ate Rondina, hello. And okay, now back to you, Ate Sonia.
You're still on mute.
You're on mute. So
Mute. I'm mute. I am a mute. Okay. So being out in my as a transgender, I never, I don't know. I just work, and I just work as who I am, and I I communicate with people. I work that I think I'm a people person, because although they think that I'm very bossy, but at the end of the day, I always say a lot of thankful for all these people. So I always said, "Have you eaten? Are you taken care of?" But as I said, I'm a boss, and am I am I out? No, I'm just working as Sonia, as who I am, and I'm doing directives, and I'm doing it, and I think I'm just showing these people that I am not I am a very capable person at doing work, and I'll be a very good example to the others that, oh, and these people will learn that if they will work with another transgender, there will be no more question, and you'll just part of that workplace, just part of that workplace. And I'm just teaching them also. I'm also teaching them how to how to how to be very understanding to the transgender community. So they say they will have their they will have this thing that, oh, that the transgender community are very productive and very capable persons of working with. And I think that's what I'm parting to this and teaching these people, the people.
thank you, Adi Sonia, for being leading through example. Okay, so now it's time for our final words, and also please promote yourself as well. Again, my name is AllyCat Castle. I mean, if there's something that I could say on today's episode, transgender in the workplace, you know what? Don't be scared. At the end of the day, it's your life. And we're here for you. And hopefully you follow your heart and do the best that you can. And if you need any resources, again, we're here. We are here as a community. And that's the reason why we talk about this, because we want you to know that you're not alone. So just please message us. Yeah, right here. Or you can also message us on Instagram, Transgenders TV as well. So, and we love you. And congratulations when you transition and when you come out. And also just for being you. Angel, Adisonia, and Lee.
Oh, and for me, Yokuzo Japan, as I've said before, shiawa sewa mo ni deki agate iru mono janai jibun no hikitetsuko monoga. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own action. It comes from your own action. So love who you are, love what you do, be proud of what you do, and let people know that you are proud, and you are a good person and nice person. Very able to yourself and just keep the fire burning. So Sonia, the only one, Sonia Agbayani, and I'm Yokuso Transistor TV. I love you, sisters.
Love you too, arigato. Okay, Miss Lee.
Am I on mute? Oh, Lee065 on Instagram, and then Miss Jarly Talks on YouTube. Also, I'm promoting transcanwork.org. If you're trans and you need assistance finding work, it's called transcanwork.org, or Trans Tech Social, which is founded by our very own Angelica Ross, who is at Post. She also, it's a way for you to have more tech skills so that you can build a more tech skills when it comes to computer programming and coding, because you can actually work your own stuff and be your own boss if you have a lot of tech skills, as Angel can attest to that. So Trans Tech Social or transcanwork.org.
For me, I guess my last
Angel.
words are, as trans people, we can work, and we've proven that, with all of us here, who's able to maintain jobs. So I hope you guys understand that we can also work, and we can be trustworthy, and we also have talents to share to have a positive community. And for those transgender people out there who's struggling with work, please reach out to a lot of resources. I know it's hard, And we can't solve everything, but there are resources out there. Just don't give up. Don't give up. Work is not everything. Work is not your life. You know, what's more important is you. In the end. And I'm Angel Qinan. That's ANGLQINAN. On Instagram. I'm gonna have a film that's gonna be showing in July. I'll be posting it on my Instagram. So follow me on Instagram. And I'm excited to announce that. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. Congratulations, Angel. And Angel, can you please announce who the winner is for last week's raffle?
Yeah, so for last week, when we discussed about faith, our winner is Elvira Stina or Steina. Her answer is hello there. Well, just here to let you know, I stick around, as you already know, LOL. Faith equals keep going on with hope for me. I don't believe nor believe in God. I be myself. I let the other be themselves. Love is universal. Spread love. No to hate. Yeah. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Miss Elvira. Yes. Oh my God. Congratulations, sis.
And if you want to win for tonight, just like, comment, and subscribe. And comment. What are they going to comment, Ali?
So first and foremost, you need to subscribe to our channel, Trans Sisters TV. Okay, that's like the red button right there that says subscribe. Press that. And at the same time, you need to like this video. Please give it a thumbs up to support it. And also, just make a comment on transgender in the workplace. Or for you, how is work for you? How important is work for you? Just answer anything that's regarding about work, and you will have a chance to win. If you live in the United States, a fragrance from Estee Lauder. And also, if you're from overseas, you're going to win $20. So again, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, Transgender TV, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and also just comment anything about work. And there you go. You can be the next winner. And on that note, happy Pride. We love you guys.
Happy Pride, everyone. We love you.
Trans Sisters